1 in 8 secondary school students in New Zealand have had unwanted sexual experience. Those are the findings from a University of Auckland study which has been released this morning. That number rises though to 1 in 5 for girls and 1 in 3 for trans and gender diverse teens. Joining me now is one of the researchers and Cure Kids Professorial Chair in Child and Adolescent Mental Health, Terry-Ann Clark. Good morning to you, Terry-Ann. These numbers make for some grim reading, don't they?
Yeah. You know, whenever you see statistics like this, you kind of think, gosh, why haven't things changed? And, you know, for us to see this increase in sexual violence amongst young people was really distressing, really. And, you know, this is 12% of all of our high school students who are reporting some kind of sexual violence or unwanted sexual experience. So, you know, as a society, we need to do better.
We do. We also need to know why. Why has there been an increase?
You really know. People feel safer to disclose unwanted sexual experiences. It may be that young people are just being more honest about things. And, you know, our survey was anonymous, so it meant that young people could disclose information without concerns about privacy. And so in some ways that's, you know, it's good that young people are talking about their negative experiences, but what we know is that those young people are not getting the services and the support that they often need, and they're often not believed. So, you know, we've got a really long way to go.
This is data from 2019, but released now. Why has there been such a lag in between? And would you expect the data to be any different if it was collected today?
You know, since 2019. So the Youth 19 survey series has been collected over a long period of time. So we've been collecting these data for like 25 years. The latest National Youth Health Survey has been in secondary schools throughout New Zealand this year. So we should have updated data next year. We know that COVID, we know that, you know, a whole bunch of global issues have happened, and that there's likely to be differences in the prevalence of sexual violence. So, you know, we're really looking forward to getting updated data and really hope that this upward trend is going to go down.
We're heading into a season where potentially young people have a bit more freedom. You know, they're getting together where their parents aren't necessarily right there breathing down their necks. What would your advice be to parents about how to talk to their kids, to keep them safe, and also encourage them to tell them immediately if something happens that they're not comfortable with?
People reporting sexual activity. So we've seen a really massive dive in young people who are having sex. We've seen a real decline in teen pregnancy. We've seen a huge decline in abortions. So, you know, young people are making really considered and strong decisions for themselves. What isn't changing is the sexual violence. And so, you know, I think that we need to have really strong conversations with our children and young people about consent, about, you know, being really careful about making sure you're having really explicit conversations, you know, and as adults, we're not very good role models in talking to our partners around explicit consent. So, you know, this younger generation are doing much better, but they still need support. We don't actually know from our data who the perpetrators of this sexual violence are. And we often know that it is people that are close to them, people that they know. And so it's not the typical stranger danger kind of situation. I also think, we often talk to our girls about being safe, but really this is about us talking to our boys and our girls about consent and doing a much better job of that. And that's parents, that's our schools. And I'm really worried about the erosion of the sexuality education curricula, which is taking away a lot of that education that our young people really need.
Thank you so much for your time this morning, Terry Ann Clark from Cure Kids.